Hello and welcome to Adam and Scott Suck at Betting. This is our betting show we do every single Wednesday in partnership with BetStamp. They, of course, very generous in partnering with us. We really do appreciate it. Yes, Adam giving the little point
I'm
to the
pointing to the
BetStamp
pointing to the
logo.
logo. I don't know if you can see it on your screen or not. You might be wondering what's this guy doing over here, but I'm trying to get my finger in. I'm impressed that I pointed the right direction because for me it's on this side. So
You nailed it.
you can tell I've
This
had
is
some
why
coffee this morning.
This is why they are partnered with us.
This is why they pay us the
for
big bucks.
This is the type of quality you can expect on Adam
it.
and Scott Suck at Betting. We do really appreciate the partnership. Of course, if you are going to bet, do so responsibly, but you might as well make as much money on what you're betting on as you can, which is why BetStamp is such a great app.
Or in our case, lose as little as you can.
Lose as little as you possibly can, exactly. When you do sign up for BetStamp, there is going to be a code to be used. And if you use the code WALKOFF, it is very appreciated and definitely helps out the channel, so we do appreciate that. We are going to, in this show, get into some of the odds on playoff teams here going into the wild card, or that first series of the playoffs here. We're going to do a bracket and stuff here next week when things are firmed up a little bit more, but we are going to touch on some of those long shot odds that might be big time payoffs here for you and worth putting $10 down on. We'll do that shortly. I did want to start off here, Adam, with talking about last night's Blue Jays-Yankees game, which I think the best way of putting it, disappointing as a Blue Jays fan, to see the effort.
Oh, that's such a polite way of putting it. I'm not mad at you. I'm just disappointed. Scott, you're going to make a great dad one day.
Oh, man, were they
disappointed
sloppy
in these
last
kids.
night. Man, they were sloppy last night. John Schneider even called out Vladdy for not running it out there when he hit the double, where he admired the ball out of the batting box and then realized, oh, this isn't going out, and then should have just stuck to a single and sucked up his error, but instead tried to stretch it into a double to make up for it and wound up getting called out in a big point in the game, right? Like, not necessarily a spot where they definitely would have come back, but pretty disappointing to see that sort of effort. Buck Martinez, who is normally all sunshine and lollipops on the broadcast, was very critical and kind of went into the Jays' effort for about 5 minutes. John Schneider, who always has his team's back, called guys out last night.
What did you think of that?
I liked it, and I think it had to be done. And honestly, I truly don't believe this has anything to do with the chemistry or the makeup of the team. I think that Monday's game was super high emotion. They win it in the 10th. Vladdy's feeling all high on himself. The team truly, they believe they made a statement, right? We can beat the Yankees when the chips are down, when it matters most. Aaron Judge chasing this home run record. And there was a letdown. And I would much prefer that letdown happen last night than in Game 2 of the division series or Game 2 of the ALCS.
Hopefully lesson learned. Man, that was tough, though. I mean, it wasn't a no-doubt home run if it was gone anyways, that he was taking his time out of the batter's box to admire. Obviously, off the top of the wall, like you said, goes into 2. I like that Schneider called him out. Vladdy knows he messed up.
Yes.
He doesn't need it to be thrown in his face, but I think just the statement towards the team is look, nobody's getting a pass, especially not this time of year, right? Like, we've all got to refocus. I don't know who it was saying it on the broadcast, if it was Buck or Shulman or who, but this is the difference between the Blue Jays and the Rays. Like, talent on paper, Blue Jays are a better team, but the Rays wouldn't do that.
It's very true.
Needs to be corrected. Look, I was saying back in June that we could beat the Yankees when we're playing our best. But if the Yankees are playing their best and we're playing our best, I think the Yankees still win. I'm not to the point now. Here we are, September 28th. I don't think that's the case anymore. I think the Yankees are touchable. Beatable.
Yes, they are.
I think even if they are playing their best, we saw that 2 days ago in that extra innings game, that we can still get it done. But we can't play sloppy against teams like the Yankees. Because like you said, I think it was like 4-2 or 5-2 at that point, but it was right after, I think, Bo Bichette. It was the same inning where Bo Bichette went into second base with a double. That was a weird play.
That was a really weird play.
Is that Bo's fault? How are you feeling on that? I mean, Joe Siddle was like, yeah, that's just a weird freak play. Like, he probably thought his toe was on the bag. You know, you've got a little bit of...
Here's the thing. I do agree with Siddle on that a little bit, in that, can we sit here and pick Bo apart for that? No. Is the simple answer.
We have bigger things to pick Bo apart for.
Is technically that Bo's fault? Yes. But is it going to do anything to sit here and harp on it? Absolutely it's not. Is there even a lesson to be learned out of it? Probably not. I mean, you watch the replay and just some bad luck there, in all honesty, and really good play by the Yankees, keeping the glove on him right till the very last second, right? Like, it is what it was.
I mean, all you can really say, I guess, is like, don't take your foot off the bag until time is called. But if Bo's response is, I genuinely thought it was on the bag, then like, what else can you do?
Yeah.
You know, it's unfortunate, but like you said, glad it happened in game 2 of this series and not game 2 of the ALDS.
So here is something that's going on Blue Jays Twitter, is there are a pile of people who are tearing this team apart for having too much fun. They think that it's part of the reason why that last night happened. I personally don't feel that the let the kids play thing is truly a problem. I think that there was a mental lapse, and I think that the best teams in baseball have those lapses. Mm-hmm. I don't think that anyone is perfect through 162. Is it frustrating to watch it happen in the 8th last game of the season? Yeah, of course it is. I'm not making excuses for these guys. They should have been better. But it happens to everyone, and I want to talk a little bit here about base running. Because, man, has this team been torn apart, especially after the base running gaffes from last night. But I read a really interesting thread from friend of the show, Chris Black, at Down to Black, one of my favorite Twitter accounts out there. And he says, let's start here. Good base running is neither sufficient or a necessary condition for being a good baseball team. And then he throws a bunch of stats at you. 2 best teams this season at base running, Arizona and Texas. Poorly rated base running teams include the Blue Jays, the Yankees, and the Astros. So it's not necessary, but it does definitely stand out when there are boneheaded base running errors like there was last night with Vladdy, where it just came across like a lack of effort. So here's some more stats. Recent World Series champions regular season base running ranking. 2021, Atlanta was 12th. 2020, the Dodgers, 27th. 2019, Washington, 12th. 2018, Boston, 20th. 2017, Houston, 18th. So, is base running the be-all and end-all? No, it's not. Would it be nice to watch Vladdy hustle his ass out of that freaking batter's box after hitting a ball? Yes, it would. So again, I'm not making excuses, but I think to dwell on the base running and to be like, this is tearing this team apart, is probably not the right reaction or even accurate when you look back over the teams and where they ranked in base running. So last night marked the 17th and 18th outs the Jays registered at second base on non-base stealing plays. Only 3 teams have more. So yes, the Blue Jays have been bad. You look at this year, Fangraphs base running metric among teams with winning records. Toronto is last. The LA Dodgers have a 17.5. Toronto's at a negative 10.9. And they only have a 67% stolen base success rate, 26th in MLB. But they run a lot. Is this something that is going to be reevaluated next year? I don't know. There's bigger bags. They're trying to encourage more base stealing. I don't know how this plays out, but man, Toronto has been pretty gross on the base path. And this is interesting too. Another thing that was pointed out is that the younger a team, the more they run, and that lines up perfectly
sense
with the Blue Jays.
Yeah. I don't know, man. You just read a bunch of things that were a warm, fuzzy blanket. I mean, it should make me feel better, but it doesn't. I'm just sweating in a hot, fuzzy blanket now.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, I mean, you don't need to be great at base running to win the World Series, but it just
Stop
feels
giving
like
away outs.
It's the most controllable thing in baseball, right? Is just like make a good decision.
And you touched on this off the top. Dan Schulman brought it up last night. The Blue Jays can compete with any team. But when you start talking about the Houston Astros and the New York Yankees, you need to be almost perfect. Because
we can't be donating outs to those teams.
No, you can't give these teams outs. You can't give them extra outs.
Like that Bo Bichette, I know, maybe we'll give Bo Bichette for sure more of a pass than Vladdy, right? But like if Bo doesn't get out there and then Vladdy hits one off the wall and hustles, all of a sudden, that's an extra run.
All of a sudden,
fewer outs.
It's 5-3.
Nobody out. Nobody out with
a
runner on second. It's a hugely different game, That's tough, man. That's tough. As long as we don't see that in the playoffs, that was rough. That was a rough one.
As a fan, I don't want to see another game like that. I mean, next year we'll see one. We'll see another game. But with 7 games left and going into the playoffs, that better be the last game where we're just like, oh my God, the mental breakdown of this team is going to kill us.
Yeah. This is
just
true.
A lack of effort and bonehead plays. That is what sums up last night's game. Bo making a few errors on the run didn't help. Again, you're giving these guys extra outs, and you can't give the Yankees extra outs. I do love, by the way, Aaron Judge yet to hit that 61st home run. I know we're really heading into the red here with Mitch White on the bump tonight and a very likely bullpen day. We'll see how long Mitch goes.
Hey, you know what I saw Aaron Judge do yesterday? Walk 4 times.
And I loved it.
Loved every single time.
No,
I was cheering way louder than all those boos pouring in. Oh, yeah. I hope Boston feels the same way after this.
I do too. Listen, This is insanity to even talk about. Is it wrong? I actually would love to see Judge just stuck at 60 for the next 7 games and just end at 60 on the season. Is that bad for baseball? Am I being bad for baseball right now?
I mean, you're being a little bit toxic. What's good for me is good for baseball. Okay, as it stands today, Aaron Judge Triple Crown watch. He's leading, obviously, in home runs, RBIs. He has a 9 RBI lead on Jose Ramirez. That's going to be tough for Jose Ramirez to catch up, even if Judge walks the rest of the season. As it stands today, he is also leading in batting average. So he has the Triple Crown in his grasp. Bogarts has fallen off. He's now 4 points back. And Luis Arias is at 313, so just 1 point back.
I don't know if there is a prop for it, but I would love if there is the ability to choose where you think Judge will end with home runs. I wonder what the money would be on betting 60. I'm being very toxic and negative, I know.
Man,
and
I'm
I'm taunting the baseball gods. Right now, we're probably going to watch Judge hit 61 and 62 today because of this
Yeah, you're jinxing
energy
it,
I'm putting out into the world. Yes.
Okay, let's just play it out. Let's reverse this jinx. Let's say he gets 2 home runs tonight. Okay, he gets to 62 because 61 is currently the record, right?
Yes.
60 still a big number. 61 ties Roger Maris. 62 all-time New York Yankee home run record, right? That's a big deal. If he does it today with 6 games left on the schedule for the New York Yankees, do you think, how much does a Triple Crown mean? Does it mean anything? They've locked up the AL East. They've got the division is clinched. Is there any chance the Yankees, if Aaron Judge gets 62, rest him?
Ooh, I don't know. I mean, the Triple Crown does, I think it means something.
Like, if he still has the Triple Crown, let's say he goes 2 for 4 tonight with 2 home runs, adds another point or two to his batting average. He's sitting at 316.
I don't think they sit him. I don't think they sit him for 6 games, but I totally get what you're saying. And if it comes down to the final game of the season, do they rest Aaron Judge if he's in the lone possession of the Triple Crown?
Let's put it that way.
They do.
Let's put it that way then. Let's put it as it's game 162. Let's say the Twins have already played and Louis Arias, he's already got his score in for the day. And let's say an 0 for 4 game out of Aaron Judge would cost him the Triple Crown. I would sit him.
I would sit him as well.
Is that the same thing as our buddy Jeff Fry hitting for the cycle when he hits a double and holding up at 1?
First.
I'm here for it.
That's pretty close. It's pretty close,
right,
and I'm here for it too.
All right, we should get Jeff Fry back and ask him his thoughts on doing that. All right.
Is it wrong I want the Yankees so bad in the playoffs? Like this series, man, and the way Yankees fans have reacted, I am just like, I'm ready. I want the Yankees.
The most frustrating thing about this series, though, has been how many stupid New Yorkers have been in Toronto.
Yeah.
Like, because they all want to see Aaron Judge do it.
But it's a beautiful thing watching him not do it. I just love
this true.
This little...
It's weird seeing Gossman get booed. You know what I mean? Like, in Toronto. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. It's a weird... I wonder if this is the most Yankees fans that have ever been to a game in Toronto at the same time.
I don't know. I mean, they do get a good turnout. I know I was there in June when the Yankees were playing them and went to all 3 games of that series. And there was a lot of Yankees fans. Obviously, the Jays fans outnumbered them substantially. And I think that's still the case with this series. But yeah, there's a lot of Yankees fans who have come from around even Canada to watch this series. I mean, we are watching history in the making. Doesn't happen every year.
What's a sellout at Rogers? Something like 45 and change?
Yeah, something like that. Just under 50. I think it's 47, I think.
I know it was a Monday, but Monday was the first game of this series. Only 34,000 tickets sold. Are you surprised by that?
No.
Like, as a playoff preview with all the home run implications on the line, with all the history, I mean, Monday is a tough day to get people out, I suppose, but 15,000 empty seats?
I do wish to push back a little bit here.
Push back, buddy.
Sportsnet announced the viewership for that game on Monday. 1.35 million people watched that game on Sportsnet on Monday night.
So, fair enough. All the people who usually buy $4 outfield tickets couldn't afford $140 outfield tickets. Fair enough.
And I think that did have something to do with it. The prices currently to watch the Yankees in Toronto are quadruple what they normally are. The Blue Jays are also almost, knock on all the wood, repent to the baseball gods, but are almost a lock to make the playoffs. So I know if I've got a couple buddies who were like, I'm not going to another game this year because I'm saving to try and go to the wild card, right? Which is going to be an expensive ticket. So if you're looking and you're like, do I go to game 154 of the season, or do I go to game 1 of the playoffs? It could just be a budgetary thing for a
That's
lot of
fair.
Torontonians.
That's fair. Yeah. I get you. I'm there. I'm picking up what you're putting down. All right, let's move on from Aaron Judge then. Should we take a look at the playoff bracket as it stands today and make some World Series predictions? Get our
Absolutely. I
pseudo-bets in?
love this. I love this. And Adam and I have talked about this before. I always like the long shot bet a little bit more. The seeing how much you can make off a long shot bet always gets me all excited and stuff. So we'll take a look at everybody, but we are going to, my predictions are not predictions, but where my money's going is leaning much more towards the Cleveland and Padres of the world than it is the Dodgers and the Mets of the world. But yeah, let's look into it. And before we do, real quick, just a reminder, BetStamp. If you log into the BetStamp app and use the code WALKOFF, all one word, it goes a long way. It really does help the channel. And also, BetStamp is a great way to figure out which betting site is going to give you the absolute best odds. It's an aggregator. It's very similar to Trivago or that sort of thing that would be used for hotels. So again, WALKOFF is the code. Feel free to use BetStamp to make sure that you're making as much money as you can when you place that bet.
Never gamble more than you can afford to lose, because you're probably going to lose. All right, postseason picture as it stands today. Let's go through the AL. We've got number 6 currently, the Mariners, going against the Guardians. 5 and 4 is Tampa Bay in Toronto for the opening series. Winner of that gets Houston. Winner of the Mariners Guardians gets the Yankees. And then the winner of those two series obviously go for the ALCS. Over in the NL, we got the Phillies Cardinals in round 1. We got the Padres and the Braves in round 1. Winner of the Padres and Braves take on the Dodgers. Winner of the Phillies Cardinals take on the Mets. And you know how math works from there. What is your gut telling you for this postseason, Scott?
I mean, it's hard to go with my gut because my heart is with the Jays, obviously. Houston is such a good team. They've got pitching. They've got lots of it. They've got depth. Their bullpen is excellent this season. Ryan Presley back off of the IL and back end at the back end of that bullpen for high leverage situations is nothing but a bonus for the Houston Astros, and their offense has been full steam ahead all season long. It is hard not to pick the Astros coming out of the AL. That said, I think the Jays can get hot. I think they can beat the Astros in the right situation. I think Cleveland is a very good team. And maybe I'm not giving the Yankees enough credit. The Yankees don't scare me. And I don't see them coming out of the American League. We'll see. Out of the NL, it is hard not to go with the Dodgers. And I know that is just such a lame, uncreative route to go. But my goodness, man, like their run differential is plus 320.
Yeah, what was it last year, though? Like, this is my only argument against the Dodgers is like, this feels like the exact same script as last year. And then all of a sudden anything can happen. I don't know, man. I mean,
you got to play the game.
Freddie Freeman is an improvement, right? Yeah, you got to play the games. I'm here for that. Look, I'm going to go. My gut is telling me the Guardians are a scrappy team in the AL. And the magic of everything that has been the St. Louis Cardinals makes me want to put a little bit of jelly beans on that team.
Well, let's
Albert
go over
Pujols,
the odds.
Why
here.
not? Why not?
Yeah.
All right, let's go over the odds. So we've got over at BetStamp here, best odds for this is World Series winner. LA Dodgers obviously favorited pretty much across the board. at plus 300. So put down $100, win 300. That's the odds there. Houston Astros are in second, plus 400, pretty well across the board. Yankees plus 514. Then the Mets plus 566. Beyond that, it's the Braves are I guess the favorite of the underdog tier. Let's put it that way. So they're at plus 800, and then deeper than that is the Blue Jays at plus 1663. So if you're going to bet on the Blue Jays to win the World Series, Bet 365 has them at plus 1500. Party Poker plus 1500. But if you go over here to Pinnacle, plus 1663. So thanks to BetStamp, makes it easy to find the best odds on the Blue Jays to go all the way. I will note that basically across the board here, everybody has the Blue Jays as the favorites of that wild card tier in the AL.
Okay.
So plus 1600 for the Blue Jays, Mariners plus 2800, Tampa Bay Rays plus 3000.
So this is what I might do here, buddy. I might just take $10 and throw $10 down on the Blue Jays plus 1600. Put $10 down on the Mariners plus 2800. Put $10 down on the Padres and the Rays, which is around 3,000.
Yeah. Get a couple lottery tickets. I like it.
Put $10 down on Cleveland. You know, all those playoff teams that may be a little bit more of a long shot. Ignore the top 5 in the Mets, Yankees, Astros, Dodgers, and Braves. And just roll the dice. If I'm out $50, I'm out $50. But if I land on any of those, you're up substantially.
Hey, look, I know a lot of analysts have been saying Cleveland is a dangerous team this time of year. Plus 3,500. That is...
Yeah, great
Those
odds.
are some nice odds, man. I mean, again, Cleveland's probably not going to win it, but plus 3,500. Look at this difference here on BetStamp. So if you're going to pick the Cleveland Guardians, Bet 365 has the Cleveland Guardians winning the World Series at plus 2,200. But William Hill has them at plus 3,500. That's a massive difference.
That's a huge difference.
That's an extra $1,300 on your payout there. Crazy.
So again, with BetStamp, they're going to ask you for a code. Please use the code WALKOFF, all one word. We're very appreciative to you if you do that. We're not making any money off commission or your losses or wins or anything like that, by the way. It just goes towards our statistics with BetStamp. So when we re-up our contract here next month, hopefully we've got enough of you who have used the code WALKOFF to sign back up for another year. And, of course, we really appreciate all of you for doing that. Did you have anything else to add here?
Well, we just have a few comments here in the live chat we should get to before we say goodbyes.
Let's do it.
So first one comes in from Mr. AC Milan. If we face Tampa, we have Gossman and Manoah and the bullpen. Merrifield and those guys have owned them this year. What do you guys think? What do you like of our odds against the Tampa Bay Rays?
I like our odds against the Rays. I've been saying this for a couple of months now. Much to the chagrin of many of my Blue Jays friends who are just like, you're insane. Have the Rays not taught you over the last 15 years to never want to play them? And that's true. Listen, the Rays have, for whatever reason, just been a nightmare team for this Blue Jays organization over the last decade and a half. Forget about the different teams, the different management. It doesn't matter who's at the helm. They've seemed to be just that team that has our number. This year, I truly believe is different. I don't see the Rays as the Blue Jay killer that they maybe once were. So I would put my money on the Blue Jays in a Jays-Rays series. I think that the pitching is going to hold up, especially with how well Manoah and Stripling have done. That's a pretty lethal 1-2. Even Gosman, I don't really care how they line up that wild card pitching. Those top 3 are great. Even if they decide to go Barrios with a short leash in game 3, I think the Jays have the Rays. How about you, man?
Yeah, I think we got the Rays too. Just interesting to note on Whit Merrifield. I know we talked about it last week. Whit Merrifield, Tampa Bay Ray Slayer. Looking at his career splits by ballpark, career batting average at Tropicana Field 328, 6 home runs in 17 games. OPS 1.077. That is his highest OPS in any ballpark other than in Arizona, but he's only played 2 games in Arizona, so I'm not counting that. He likes to play in Tampa.
Yeah.
There you go. Scotty Scott says, I got 4 ALDS, $500. I assume you got tickets?
That's great.
Is it 500 for 4 of them, or is that 500 each? Curious. Level tickets for 350. I was shocked when they were that much. I was expecting 250 plus a ticket. Andre says, what's up? I think we got everyone. The only team I fear is the Astros. I'm with you there, Andre. Again, this would be the nice thing about Manoah playing 162, skipping them in that wild card round, pitching them twice against the Astros.
Yeah.
I mean, not to look past anybody, but.
And we'll before we wrap up, I did just want to remind everyone the way that it's going to work, right? So if the Blue Jays do wind up with home field advantage, playing whoever it is lands second in the wild card rankings, that series winner is going to go on to play the Astros. So if they do wind up with home field advantage, the Astros are the team they're playing in the ALDS. And that is scary. But Adam and I have talked about this before. I think I'd rather the Astros in a 5-game series. I know that we've asked other pundits, not that we're pundits, but, like more intelligent sports folks than us. And some of them have said they'd rather the Astros in 5. Or in 7, I mean. So I guess it's pick your poison. But I would the less you need to play the Astros, the more I'm into it.
I'm right there with you. Stealing 3 feels easier than stealing 4. The longer that series goes, the better chance they have of. Anyways, all right. That's about it for today. I guess we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Do we have any interviews or anything tomorrow, Scott?
Nothing lined up for tomorrow. It'll just be you and I. And then we do have, just a reminder, everybody, we do have Anthony Telford, former pitcher for the Montreal Expos, Nate Pearson's personal pitching coach, and friend of the show, joining us on Long Toss on Sunday.
Long Toss will be a good one. Okay, so tomorrow we'll just recap this Yankees series and get to some other questions from the chat and stuff like that. Very cool.
Sounds good.
Talk to you later. Cheers.
All right, buddy. Cheers.